here. So, on the 30th, I don't know if it's going to be recorded or live. It might be live. I'm going to be on Greyhorn Pagans with Stein. I wanted to take some time to talk about something. I'm going to talk about it a little bit here as I've got to go into my crunch to have a fuller thing to say about it, because I think it's kind of about dealing with mankind and their various demons, familia, so on and so forth, or whatever, right? It's just in general, right? Where, people talk about the Nephilim look like clowns situation. I'm much more interested in these clown-looking entities. I'm much more interested in them from a influence on you kind of angle, right? Because we have an exoteric understanding of the clown world circumstances that has been a mental illness running through the West. And you notice that the East does not have this problem, period. And it's not a freedom of speech issue. You fucking analyze. If you know what they fucking speak, those languages, you fucking hear what they say is like not a free speech or is a free, like, it's hardly any different. It's not really as gnarly and big a fucking deal as you think it is, right? It's slightly closer too, just like here in America, right? And that's just because of just what I think is really going on, especially with the narrative for the sake of self-patriotizing in this country about being the greatest country, yada, yada, yada. And, it's just like, what are your values as a thing, right? I mean, the French, as of the Republic age of France, has this attitude, so on and so forth. So, a long time ago, inspired by me putting together a few different notes, a few different beats, having a past interest in a lot of different things that were clown horror, right? I'm the kind of kid that grew up catching, the television fucking replays of, like, killer clowns from outer space, right? Just like, Killer Clowns from Outer Space was a very fucking cool movie. It was a fucking punk rock movie. Eh? Hello, randos in the chat. I don't think I recognize any one of y'all. My location. I am right here. That's where I am. You'll find me there too. Hey, what's up, Sadiko? If you're hanging around as a wrench, make sure these kids are playing by my rules. Alright, anyway. And so let me repeat in case you missed it. Towards the end of the month, about the 30th, I'm going to be on Greyhorn Pagans with Stein Fox. And I'm going to be talking a bit about this, and so I'm a little inspired to talk a little bit about it. Jai Shri Ram. If you're going to speak a language I do not understand, it is on you to translate it. I do not appreciate the messages in foreign languages that I have to let slide because I don't know what they are, right? So, but I'm not going to let things slide. Speak English. This is an English-speaking channel with an English-speaking audience. Speak English in my chat, please. You could be from anywhere you want to be, and I know that most Indians can speak English because of that fucking imperial cunt who ruled your fucking country for a bazillion fucking years and did all sorts of weird shit to it. And my opinion on mayonnaise. I like Mike's Amazing Mayonnaise. I don't like Hellman's or anything like that. Mayo's great. Mayo can be used to make all sorts of things, not just adding to sandwiches. There's my opinion on mayonnaise. Anyway, so when it comes to the clown situation, right? You know, we're all hopped up on the evil clown thing. Like that's become like a major kind of trope and narrative of sorts. I don't know if it's everywhere. It's in this place for sure. I think there's other ways where it kind of manifests, like that fucking. I think it's like a god of death in Death Note. I haven't watched Death Note for so long I've forgotten. But you know that's kind of a clown. It's in black and white, so you know it's kind of a mime, and a mime is in the same category as a clown. And many clowns operate from the mute perspective, the quiet, you know, the silent clown. It was all body language, image gags, and perhaps sound effects. Well, almost most definitely sound effects, right? And if you watched my breakdown of Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain, when we talk about Cell and Saturn, and how Cell does this whole shtick where she grifts to children, and then she's in corporate malaise on the back end when she's not being the entertainer, right? And so that's kind of the Saturnian shepherding, right? You know, she's in the clown suit. That's how she looks for the sheep, to earn the sheep's trust, and then behind the scenes, it's all the slaughterhouse, if you will, right? And you see the dark side, including some of the shit happening to children, right? That, you know, by today's standards, every single character, with the exception of the three first characters of the movie, among those 10 the 9 initiates plus the alchemist, are fucking people that you can say are maybe good people. Everyone else, you see where they're at. I mean, like, they're not personally bad people. That's an important distinction. In the Holy Mountain, I'm getting to a point here with the clowns. They're not personally bad people, but they are. You just removed Jack Black. Well, Jack Black hasn't been fucking cool in a very long fucking time. But anyway, it rose to prominency in positions in the world that do terrible things, right? And personally, I think that maybe some of what Jodorowsky was getting at, which I think gets clearer in an abstract way, funny enough, in the third act of the film, is the fact that those characters are like that in their jobs, in certain ways that are cynical, right? Like they maybe were altruistic when they first got into things, right? Like Pluto. Pluto may have been a total fucking Howard Rourke, fucking let's build a temple to the human spirit architect type of guy, right? Because that was Pluto's thing in the movie, architecture, right? But at the end of the day, he's just, you know, he's building these postmodern fucking, you know, concrete prison cells that are also coffin boxes for you to live in, stacked up to be fed upon by the corporate vampire, right? And he goes on living his perfectly fine life, and for the people who are among the profane, And the movie also shows that the people that are being abused, there's a certain level of them that are almost into it, right? Like, there's very few circumstances that says, well, the horrible things that happen to people that I'm in the business of, I don't make people come to my horrible fucking things, right? There's no forcing them into the camps. They come to the camps because that's the best that they can fucking do with themselves, right? And it's all according to how they were raised anyway, because also different facets of those characters at different levels of life. So, what does this have to do with the clowns? Like I said, it's a spirit possession kind of argument angle that I'm talking about. So I'm effectively talking about the clown world, right? LGBTQ plus movement, adopts the rainbow and is into the multicolored aesthetic that was largely given to us by the amazing 80s punk rock scene, right? I was very confused because punk rock seemed to be a continuous thing going through the early 2000s. Dating apps would pop up. I kind of got a thing for punk chicks as well as metal and goth chicks, so I'm looking at those kinds of girls as my target. But I find myself in strange circumstances when none of them seem to be really punk, or maybe punk to them some fun. Or I'm just like, okay, and then I start realizing that there are all sorts of different things. Some of them are labeled, well, I'm a woman, but then, like, you forgot to read the description before you hit the like button, and you find out that, like, there's some term, you look up the term. So what the fuck is there, this weird term on this dating app that they identify themselves? It's like, oh, it's a particular kind of quirk of being transsexual. Well, geez, all right, well, I'm not really interested in talking to you anymore, ma'am. And so, a couple times end up getting in fucking fights, right? Some women don't understand a certain level of deceptive towards men that they are. But anyway, that's okay, because there's a lot of stuff we don't understand about women with men, right? I think there's a few men in this world that get a certain way of being raised where women are not that kind of a fucking mystery. Unfortunately, for me, yes. But anyway. What is that? The clowns, gestures, he's a known predator. Who are you talking about? What's up? Do you want to come smoke crack? Alright. Anyway. Yeah, thank you, Saniko. It's good that you're here. Never know when one of these drive streams is just gonna flood me with like 20 people that YouTube doesn't realize are not supposed to be listening to my shit. That's okay, because YouTube is made by the profane, for the profane. I'm an underdog with gnosis. Anywho. So, it's not just this truther thing of, oh my god, look at all the video games and television. It's not that, right? People are making choices with that. There's a risk factor. They're putting that in that media platform, right? You're looking at something deeper and underlying, and also there's going to be a problem if you're predisposed against certain people on a fucking, just a purely human level, right? Like, you can get into some deep weeds about esoteric sexuality, occult sexuality, right? This is why I respect what James True is doing so much right now. He's tapping into the same kind of issues of divine androgen that Dr. Ammon Hillman is, right? And I've left some weird comments, I think. It's just like, I'm cursed with being like, with having been like a truther and thus having some of those issues, right, that come along with being a truther and the religious right in America kind of angle that comes with being a truther that I never really meant to fully catch myself in. But it was the difference between what I was seeking exoterically, conspiracy theories and all of that research, and what my soul happened to be looking for. And then there be all these parallels as I maybe in my own grandiosity decided to take on this mantle of all these different things that I want to talk about, hold a standard towards, so on and so forth, right? And so I don't like the idea that perhaps I've sounded too sanctimonious and righteous about things, right? I've just been looking at the same legitimate problems that not so legitimate people have been complaining about, because everybody knows that up until the Common Era, there was no fucking agenda of homosexuality or transism or whatever. It was more like it arises in people, and we need to be better people and how we treat people like that, because these extreme right-wing fears and bigotries are making us horrible people, making the assumption about what is a horrible person, because there's plenty of people that fit a very different bill, and too much of the language is alienating, right? So this is where it gets to the issue, right? The way people in the LGBTQ plus community feel under attack, which, considering what anybody knows about the world on a deeper level and where you're at exploring yourself, just what's on the surface for you, because, you know, unfortunately we can't live in a world, like, I wish everybody was dead occulted. Like, go fucking start reading all the occult shit, get all the sticks out your ass, you know, and fucking remember you're not fucking losing your soul by fucking going to magical practice and yada yada. I wish the whole world could just fucking, like, open itself up to being better selves and better towards everyone else. Wonderful altruism. Probably never going to happen in my lifetime, but I can see improvements. So, they sought out a certain kind of symbol, because rainbows inherit the full visual spectrum. It's a symbol of universality of something, right? Universality of the revelation of all things. In a sense, you could say a rainbow is like sending a revelation. Look, the full color spectrum is now here before you, right? So here are these people, they're wearing all these colors, they're wearing all of their emotions and throwing it at you. And because on a subconscious psychological level, you're picking up the emotional symbolism of the color itself, and then how it is aesthetically placed within your vulgar, and I mean this in a literal sense, just like there's low magic and high magic, low language and high magic. This is low art. Zora Enorbi Black. Hey, what's up, Zora? I don't remember giving you a wrench. Did you change your name? Who did you used to be? How you doing, man? Oh, Freya Hella. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You have black at the end of your name. Cool. Yes. Hey, Freya. Good to see you. So, before the rainbow was adopted as this kind of symbol, only the flamboyant peoples were into all those colors like that, and the spectacle performers were into having such an array of popping colors in their entire aesthetic, you know, especially for the sole purpose of being childlike and entertaining children. You throw all those colors out there like that, it doesn't cast a mature, like adult kind of atmosphere. It's all playful, right? And maybe that's a problem with us but at the same time, that is part of the psychological effect. When seeing it, there becomes, because we're talking about the heart of the cringiness of the matter. The cringiness is coming from the misplaced use of the magic, which is basically the shamanistic principle that they're dressing up like the clown, because just like in shamanism, you wear the mask of the god or the entity that you are channeling. So they are channeling a clown spirit, which would be these clown spirits. I think we're using Nephilim as a catch-all. I think it's much more akin to a daemon or a demon, right? And so things that I'm going to be drawing my correlations from in the talk are going to be from Stephen King's It, according to the films. I have not read the books. I've listened to essays on the books, and I will make sure to say that, it's not coming from that. I don't think I need to read the book, because I don't need to read a fiction story that's based on fictional fucking entities and fictional history to do this, because I'm not trying to give you a fiction picture. What I am trying to give you is me being an intuitive, practicing magus, practicing shaman. I'll just say practicing, because I'm not trying to put that much authority yet. Because it's going to be coming more from me and my experience in encounters, and my compassion to understand the situation. Hey, what's up, Awaken Your Mind? Check out Awaken Your Mind channel. That's my buddy Derek. He and we did the whole thing with Tom Althouse a couple months back. You can catch the original interview on this channel and on Awaken Your Mind. And and so yes, I'm going to be drawing from it, and I'm also going to be drawing from The Exorcist, because you'll see a parallel in psych profile between Megan and other boys and girls her age in similar circumstances, right? Because there is a punk rock rebellion spirit in that Color Cavalcade that's still there. There is still that echo of punk in it. It took an essence of something that was in that 80s punk aesthetic, and it kept that and changed it from and put that essence in application with color into this, right? As purely about this kind of a thing and movement. And naturally there needed to be this bigger discussion about stuff, right? But also, we kind of went crazy with government's role in the matter. That's where we kind of had serious falterings, is government's role in the matter. And but also it was creating narratives like saying you are being oppressed, using very poor language, being oppressed because we're not recognizing your relationship as a marriage. And that's oppressing you because it's discriminating, right? And this came shortly after other forms of non-sexuality based discriminations were cleared out. This is why it hit wrong. It was defending people against monsters that didn't exist. Somebody believed that nasty conservatives all had a bad bone for fucking coming after the gay, and I'm the gay, I'm the trans, yada yada yada, right? And so they allowed this spirit to possess them, to give the strength and the power and the defense, and it comes out in vulgarities, thus the exorcist angle. Now just replace the grotesque demon face over that she gets when it's Pazuzu talking, and just put on the clown makeup instead, talking like that. Which is not much different than Pennywise when he's angry. And that's part of what's happening. They believe they're protecting themselves from harm that isn't there anymore. And it was never quite what it was. Everything was based on Matthew Shepard's murder which was pinned as a hate crime when it was really about something more high school fucking shady shit was going on. And it was personal business. And maybe they also didn't like him because he was gay and they had hang-ups about it. But wouldn't have done anything to him otherwise than they did something, that he literally did something that affected them that they didn't like. Like there was a business, I don't know, I heard there was maybe like a deal or something. There's some weird little details, right? But those details don't matter. What really matters is that was already a dead trend. We had surpassed a lot of that. We had created a lot of sanctuary space by that point in the 90s. So where Matthew Shepard pops up, it's overblowing something that already was in the process of being addressed. And that turned into a continuative narrative because it was convenient. It was a convenient part of the Democrat arsenal. So this sympathetic magic in politics for their personal agendas now fuels and exploits the people who are allowing themselves to be exploited by these spirits that they're bringing in to protect them. And that's kind of a summary of what I'm going to be talking about with Stein. So that'll be tightened up in 2 weeks, and I look forward to having that conversation, and for many of you to show up and to check it out. Make sure you're subscribed to the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. Show Stein some love. He's recently admitted he's got some mental health struggles and needs to take a break. I was happy to say, I hit him up and I said, dude, I know I've been slacking on setting that date, and I heard your video, and it's just like, we don't have to do this. And he said it was cool, right? And so I'm very grateful because he deserves a break, and I didn't want to, I was happy to cancel for him and to not feel a goddamn obligation. So shout out Stein, badass motherfucker. All right, I will catch you guys later.